Okay guys, a couple things that before I start doing setups that you need to know about. I've already marked on the top of my headstock a place where I always do my touch offs, and this is actually the center of my chuck. And then when we come over to the tailstock, I've done the same thing where I'm going to touch off every time, and then I also mark the center of my tailstock. Okay, a couple things. A couple other things is that I have already mounted a V-bit in the chuck, and I've mounted a V-bit in the router. So what I'm going to do first is find out where is the exact center line of my headstock. So we're going to come over here, bring our bit down, and what I'm going to do is make the two tips touch. When the two tips touch, I set my X and Y to 0. And my Z. I set everybody to 0. You will notice at this point in time I have clearance for my chuck as if I was going to route something. This center line, when you're looking in V-carve, is the bottom of the V-carve. Whenever you're looking at V-carve and you're doing your setups for your material and stuff, you are always going to show as the touch off on the top. So I've got everything zeroed out. Now the first thing I'm going to do is go up and then I'm going to go over to where my touch off is going to be. And this is where you're going to touch off all your tools when you put new tools in. Okay. I'm going down now to just touch the top of my headstock. You could possibly do this a couple ways. You could sit there and take a piece of paper, go down, until it just touches, and you got just a slight amount of drag on your paper. At this point in time, you go over to your computer and look at what the Z measurement is and record it. My particular instance, it's 2.020. Okay? Also, if that's where you're going to touch off all of your tools, record the X measurement. Mine happens to be 4.5. So right now my X is 4.5 and my Z is 2.020. My Y is still at 0. Okay? Now, what we're going to do is we're going all the way down to the tailstock now. At the tailstock now we're going to come down and we're going to do the same thing as we did before. Now, this is the time you want to adjust your tailstock so that it lines up with the point of the V-bit. The 2 points line up. So what I do is I move my tailstock a little bit until they line up. Now, you don't have to do this necessarily, but now I know that my two points are now exactly lined up. So what I'll do is because I have mine on a board, I tighten my board down now so it stays in place. Now, whenever my Y is always parallel, okay? I again look at X, or I look at Z, which should be at 0 right now, which it is, and I look at that, and that is at 0. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up on Z, and I'm going to go over and touch off on the tailstock. That Z height is that is your tailstock offset. So record that number down. Okay? Record that number down. Mine happens to be 6.6. Okay? Now that's my tailstock, and 2.020 is my headstock offsets. Okay? So, at this point in time, I have all the dimensions that I need to set the software up to be acceptable to everybody's in the same plane at this point in time.